Do you remember when we were younger?
When we walked to ShopRite?
Yeah, it took 3 hours.
Literally
forever. And we went for hot
to
dogs, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally bought hot dogs and hot dog buns, came back, made them in your house, and it was like a 5-hour trip.
We took the short way there. We took the long way back. I don't know why. And then we had to take a pit stop because both of us were like, God damn, I'm tired. We had to sit down on the ground. And if I remember correctly, we didn't have any water or any sustenance minus the freaking hot dogs and buns we had.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the hot dogs were totally defrosted by the time we got home, so I guess it worked.
It did work out. So why did we do that?
I don't know. I remember sitting on the sidewalk, like, utterly depressed. Like, how do we get home now? This is it. This is how it ends. I mean, just looking back on it, I feel like it's all, even college, like, I had some, okay, let's take my best friends from college, and it changed from year to year, just because it did, like, the natural flow of, like, my curriculum and what was going on. Again, though, still talk to, so, like, the girl that I was friends with freshman year, who I was super close with, we were, like, 2 completely different people.
Opposite people?
But we were so beautifully weird together. That's, like, you know how, and this is how, I feel like this is the way that I relate to people the most, and I feel like it's honestly also probably why my relationship's been as successful as it is with Dan.
Yeah.
Is because I connect to people who, like, meet the true me, which is, I'm a freaking weirdo, guys. Like, I'm, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the people that I ended up just being, like, friends with were the people who had some level of, like, weirdo in them, and our weirdo was compatible.
Yeah, I mean, because then that's your genuine self.
Yeah.
You know, that's, like, not you putting a filter on yourself.
Yeah, and
it was, like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, and, like, I stopped being friends with the people that I stopped being friends with, like those that started to change when, when that wasn't at the same, when our weirdo level wasn't at the same place anymore.
Right. That's also just growing up.
Right, like, when you don't meet them and you're doing something else, or you're on a different path. Like, and that's not to say, like, you don't love them and you want the best for them, and, like, you don't...
No, and, like, that goes
you
back...
You stop being their friends because, like, we got in this big fight.
No, again, that goes back to me saying, like, your middle school best friend will always be your middle school best friend. Yeah. Your high school best friend will always be... You know, it's just, like, it's a different phases in life. Like, you won't forget those people. It's just, like, you don't... Yeah. You don't... vibe with them anymore.
Yeah, you're walked a different path, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But, you know, they got
and, like,
you
you're not
wherever you are
around each other anymore, too, which is a huge thing that shifts your friendships, and that's something that...
It's something that,
I really had to learn about, like, after college, too. Like, you're not going to always be in the same vicinity. A lot of the times, part of your friendship comes with convenience of, like, proximity, and that's totally fine.
And we talked about this, last time we saw each other. It was, like, high school, middle school, whatever, school, you're literally in the same... places now.
Whatever type of system you're in, if you're in that system together, you're going to relate with the people that are in the system with you that you can get along with the most, because it's a survival skill. It really is. Yeah. It's a social survival skill. I'm saying something about like, never getting in a fight with any of, like,
I wish I got
like fight ending friendship, like, and
that's never happened. I feel like
fight ended a friendship.
That's never happened with me. So
I have had
you though, yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I've had one. I've had no. I've had okay. So let me say this. I've had more friends break my heart than, like, relationships break my heart.
You know, and, like, that's the worst.
That's
the worst because friendships I value more.
Yeah,
I value platonic relationships more than like, romantic ones.
Yes. Like, they're, like...
Because, like, platonic relationships, to me, are, like, the foundation of that is just full trust in, like, that person. Like, there's no filter, there's no, like, facade that you're putting up, or, like, you're not trying to, like, impress this person constantly.
And moments when you blatantly... and I can't say... I don't know. I hope that... when I look back, I can hope that I was never in a position where I made someone feel that.
Right, like,
when you did that to somebody else.
Like, I feel like, yeah.
In
any relationship, I hope I never, or...
multiple, like, people that were my close friends, where I would turn around and something was said, or, like, complete, like,
just, like...
I'm not your friend because I heard that you did this, and, like senior year of high school.
Yeah, you poor thing.
That was... and I still have some types of feels about it, because it still, like, doesn't sit right with me, but I'm, like, whatever had happened, and, like, I didn't make the best choices either, so I know I'm at my own fault.
Yeah. It wasn't fair.
It wasn't, because the bullshit of it was... I did nothing wrong, and people don't actually know the backstory of talk about being abused, like, don't actually know the backstory of what had happened or what was going on, and so many people that claim to be my close friends just turned on me. Like, nope. And you were like, ugh, friggin' love you. This is this is, like, the difference between someone who you have that platonic relationship with, whose family who knows you, who, like, isn't gonna take that bullshit, versus people who, like, are... Yeah. Like, not maybe comfortable with themselves, or, like, whatever.
Or just trying to appease the other party, or whatever stronger party is at that time. Yeah.
And it was the perfect... I think that I really needed it to happen, because
it brought you back to a center that you needed.
It made me realize, like, what the F have you been doing all this time? Yeah. You know?
And, like, it wasn't even... we'll take this offline again. I don't remember specifics about that, what happened. But... it didn't even blip. I was like, why? It's Brittany. Like, what was I, like...
like I said, I had made bad choices in a lot of other situations.
Everyone did.
And I don't want to speak badly about anybody, so we're not going to have, like, the full-on story, because it doesn't matter anymore. No, like, those people made their choices, and karma, and, like, it's fine, and I am happy with my life, but it still, like, it still pricks me in the heart to think about, like, how... heartbroken I was by,
I think you're just heartbroken because you were heartbroken, you know?
Because I was heartbroken, and, like, it's just has a sour spot in my face. And I think it was karma for me. Because,
from all the mess that you got into.
A lot of, like, the messy situations that I had created because I, like, wasn't thinking and was just acting. Yeah. Like, it ended up being karma for me, and it ended up being a huge learning lesson. And then... if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't probably have the friendships that I have now, so I had to learn.
It was a learning experience.
It was, it was total bullshit. It was absolute bullshit. And I guess the biggest thing that, I don't know. I don't know where else to go with it anymore. Cause
you lost a lot of friends.
I went from having super close friends and being super excited about, like, the world to, like, and it all happened, mind you, this all happened while my family was, like, driving to vacation. Like, I was getting all of these text messages.
You weren't there.
And all of this stuff was happening.
You weren't in town. And also, was this towards the end of senior year?
Yeah, it was, like, right into summer.
Right? It was, like, right into...
It was
we
right...
just graduated?
Because what had happened that had set the whole thing off was a decision that I made in a relationship. Yeah. And then me just wanting to be, like... all right, I need to, like, I'm just trying to establish myself as myself again. Yeah. Not with somebody in a relationship. And I was in a lot of relationships in high school. Yeah. Like, I was in a lot of relationships in high school.
Yeah, you were. You were also finding yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole thing.
I would not have the successful relationship that I have now if I hadn't done what I had done. Yeah, no, and that was where I made a lot of messes. Like, I really did make a lot of messes. I know that I made poor choices and I hurt people and, like, whatever, it's fine. I'm sorry. It's not fine. But, like, I like, whatever. I can't fix it because I couldn't have known any better in those situations.
We're different people now.
Yeah. Like whatever. I did what I did. I had to learn my lessons. And sometimes that meant, like, I had to make poor choices. And that, like, kickstarted this whole thing about all of a sudden I was a terrible person and all these rumors went around. And it was fun. Like, whatever. Rumors happen. It's totally fine. The thing that I wasn't expecting was
the influx or the outflux. People.
Yeah, of, like, so easily just being, like, this person. Like, it was just
stupid. It was
dumb. The biggest thing that I could tell people now is and especially with, like, and I hear all the time about, like, the young people that I work with. Yeah. Like, this person was my friend, and now it's scary because now they go on social media and they like, talk about each other.
Blast.
Or they, like, rumor each other. Yeah. And, like, it's real scary.
It is
like,
real scary.
The best thing that you can do, I don't want to tell you to, like, withhold yourself from others. No. Because you shouldn't do that.
Absolutely not.
Because then that's not, like, you have something that other people need. Like, you need to share that. You need to build those relationships. But the biggest thing is, like, you can't let who other people are influence who you are. Or
Yeah.
what you think other people want influence who you are. And, like...
It'll bite you in the ass at the end of the day.
Yeah, when you make a decision
Yeah.
for you, because I was making a decision for me. Like, that was what, like, all of the time. I was making a decision for me. And it was one of the first times that I very clearly, without, like,
was
doing
like,
something...
this is for me, not for
right,
you.
Without doing
whoever.
something that was, like,
That'll benefit someone else rather than you.
Yeah, because that was my life. Without doing that...
Yeah.
And it just to have it backfire so intently was like...
It's a shot in the face.
Yeah. So,
like, I want to do something for myself for once. And if you're my friend, like, you should support that. But because...
And, like, I'm sorry, but, like, even if I did do something wrong, you should still be standing there saying... Like, I can't tell you how many situations I've been in with friends where they do something just...
That's
not
dumb.
okay. And
but you're still
I
with them.
still stand there and I'm like, who's... And this was me, and I remember it. There was a point in high school where, like, I wasn't even in high school to say this. I was in college, and I was about ready to key somebody's car. And, like, you want to be the friend that someone can... If something happens, and there's something... Somebody says something about your friend, or there's something going off that involves your friend, you want to be the person that when your friend feels like they're falling, regardless of whether they're falling in a good or a bad direction, that you can catch them, and you
Absolutely.
can be there for them. And, like,
I mean, that's
listen
a friend.
to them. And, right, that's what a friend is. And I feel like we have a very, like... A really fantastical idea of what we think friends are and what we want friends to be, but you have a friend in somebody when they choose to dance with you in the hardest situations of your life until that storm passes versus, holy shit, it's about to rain, I'm out.
Yeah, that's not a friend.
Right.
That's just someone that is there, that chooses to be there when it's only good, and, like, forgets about you and it's, like,
right.
rough. Yeah.
Right. And then I had to also realize a lot of it was how many people were friends with me because of what it made them look like.
Right, their
versus
reputation.
them actually being friends with
Correct.
me.
Correct, because that was also, like, that's just high school.
So, yeah.
And sometimes even college, depending.
Yeah. And college was rough, too. I made mistakes. It's very
College
competitive, like, especially being in dance, like, it was so competitive. Mm-hmm. It was rough.
College for me, I had things personally going on. So
That's true.
College was, I, like, hit the reset button, kind of. Yeah. And this was when we didn't talk.
Yeah.
Even though we went to the same school.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, it's a fucking university.
We went to,
it
like,
was a huge university.
I would see you and talk to you every once in a while.
Right. And
but
like,
I also was very aware of the fact that, like, okay, she needs some space. Like, there's
right,
stuff,
and, like,
she doesn't want to talk to me about it. It's cool.
Right. And, like, I definitely, like, I hit the reset button where I was like, I'm not talking to anyone. Like, things are happening. And I also didn't live on campus. Yeah. So it's not like I had that luxury of, like, you know, being in a dorm and, like, having, like, roommates or, like, having a social life. I just kind of, like, went to class, was literally a robot, and then went home. And then people would text me, but, like, it was just, like, whatever. And then I had a part-time job, so I was friends with, like, my coworkers.
And we didn't even talk about working together. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about good fucking moments.
But
we don't have so many dark things in high school. We had solid good moments.
No,
in high
but,
school
like,
too.
actually, high school was there are a lot of good and bad memories of high school, but I feel like the good probably kind of outweighed the bad. It just kind of sucked because towards the end it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like,
yeah.
But in any case, yeah, even, like, going outside of school, like, work friends, like, coworkers, like we worked at Dunkin'. I feel we talked about this, like, last time, right?
Yes. We had such a good time. Talk about, like, getting to be yourself. I never felt like I could be safe in high school at all. I hate it.
Because everyone's out there to judge you.
No, I hated it. High school was not it for me. High school was not it for me. It was just not.
Middle school, high school more than middle school. High school was better for me than middle school. Is what had happened.
And I feel like no.
Opposite. Well, outside of school, even, like, at Dunkin', like, we were friends with the people that we worked with, even though they were, like, older.
And they went to school with us, and we probably never would have seen them if it wasn't for that. And
right.
We were all, like, our little, like, Dunkin' cohort, we were solid. And, like, the jokes we cracked, and it was...
And even at school, then we would start seeing each other at school, and we'd be like, oh,
just be out of the stress of the bullshit that was created in that little bubble.
Because, like, within those walls of high school, you have a reputation, but then once you come out of that school, and, like, you start working together or whatever, that's, like, your genuine self.
Yeah.
That's like you.
Minus like the stress of like trying to deal with the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru because we were all.
Oh my god.
God, mad respect for anybody who deals with that because it was
just the food industry.
Woo!
It was rough.
Yeah.
But so, where was I going with this?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. College. Oh, I hit the reset button. I didn't really have friends, but then I had friends at work, like just because that was my safe space too. Because I worked now in college at a Barnes and Noble.
I remember this.
Yeah, and those were the friends that got me through, just because it was convenient for me. Because like we would get off of work, and this is where I met my best friend right now, Ashley, and it was just convenient because after work I'd be like, I don't want to go home, and I'd be like, all right, we can just chill here, because like shit was happening. So it was like, I think so I put like for different parts of life, like there are different friends for different purposes.
Oh yeah, totally.
And so once I got out of that spell and that mess after college, I was like, all right guys, like my bad,
hey,
like,
I'm back. Literally what it was like. Maria was like, hey,
I'm like, hey,
I'm back, look at me. And I was like, oh cool, all right. I was like,
and like, you know, for the longest time I felt so bad.
Why?
Because it was like I just kind of like went MIA for like years.
But like,
I mean, yeah. Which, I mean, that
stuff happens.
It's great for me to see at least a couple of people respond back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, then you know that they're, like...
But we were always... So, like, I know who else you're talking about. We were always the people who would respond back.
Absolutely. And, like, it took me a while to figure out, like, I shouldn't feel bad about it. Like, I still feel sorry, obviously. But, like, then I like, knew, I was like, oh, these are, like, genuine people. Like, I already knew, but, like, I just needed validation that, like, all right, like, like, you guys are good.
And was there a feeling of, like, this is what they knew my life like, and now my life and myself is very different, and what if they don't accept me?
Yeah, that was also a battle that I had to figure out, because, like, I mean, and I'll say, like, in college, I gained a couple friends that I still have, and which was great, because they saw me start off there, and now, like, see me, like, excel and succeed, and, like, that must be super fulfilling for them to see me grow, too, but also for, like, you guys, like, yeah, I was away for a couple years, but, like, and, like, I struggled, but at least, like, now, like, I'm in a better place.
To see you happy is, like, the best. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, which, as a
friend.
As
what you're saying.
Like, again, like, a friend should be, like, a friend. Like, a good friend would be like, all right, yeah, like, you're gone for a few years, but, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever, fuck that.
And, like, and I guess, like, okay, let's get into this. So, how do you... So we can end this with something for you guys to, like, take away that could be, like, more tangible and applicable for you to think about in your life and, like, friendships. Like, how do you define a good friend?
You're asking me this right now?
Yeah. Like, what are some attributes that you look for somebody who's... And, like, if your answer right now is, like... And this isn't to make a dig at anybody, but, like, if your answer right now is, like, I want someone to go drink with me.
There's, like, some underlying thing there. Like...
I want somebody who... like, is gonna go out and party with me, and that's fine, but, like, there's gotta be something else there, because that's not a thick enough thread to hold you to somebody to be your friend, because then it's just a convenience thing. Then it's just, like, I'm friends with this person because it's convenient.
Social, like, friendships are social,
they
constructions, but
they
also
are.
It's like a very... It's like a relationship that you have to work.
And that's the
thing. With whatever.
A real friendship, and maybe that's where we have to, like, create this delineation. Is a real friendship is the difference between, like, I like being around you when things are good and things are fun, versus, like, I want to be around you when things suck because I can feel better when we're together. Yeah. And not like I can feel better because I can cover it up better, but, like, I can feel better because I can talk to you about it, or you'll accept me as where I am.
Exactly. Like, no matter if I'm, like, fucking delusional and insane, like, you'll accept me, essentially.
Yeah. And
then once I get out of that fog or whatever, you're still good. Like, you know, like, it's just, like...
And it's so hard to it's so hard to find, and, like...
It's hard to find, but when you do find it, though, it's, like, eye-opening.
Yeah. And I had to shift the way that being somebody who always wanted to...
Be friends with everyone?
Yeah, and, like, help other people and, like, be there for other people, and, like...
It's also, like, if they don't give off the same, so stupid to say, not stupid, it just seems so cliche to say now. If they don't give off the same energy, they don't reciprocate, it's just so...
It's called an energy vampire.
It's just so disheartening.
If you are friends with or know or possibly related
did you just make that up?
No, of course. You never heard that before?
No, I'm not even cool.
Dude, that was the first thing I had to learn. Wait. And I'm going to be totally blunt and honest with you, which might be, like, a little more, like, scary than, like people that I know who, like... When I first started to go to therapy, because I do that, and mental health is something we need to talk about. Like,
absolutely.
Hear a little bit about, like, the relationships and the environments that I grew up with. Like, it really isn't that much of a surprise, and I probably should have started it sooner. But one of the first things that I learned in therapy was that I attracted a lot of people who wanted to be my friend because I was always there for them.
But you didn't get the energy back.
And it's not that I didn't get it back. I have some amazing friends who I still get it back from. But I would sacrifice myself in the honor of wanting to serve other people more. So I would, and not do it in a way that I was super aware of. Yeah. But I would, like, if I was miserable or I was unhappy, I would be so invested in what other people needed from me that I would ignore what I needed. But yeah, so that was a realization I had to have for myself, and I think that was the biggest thing. Just because you show up for other people doesn't mean they're going to show up for you.
Which sucks, because I'm also the same way.
Yeah. And
you're just expecting it. And you never get it back, and then you just feel like shit.
And maybe it's not a conversation you have, so I've had moments where, like... Yeah. As I started to get older, I'd get frustrated when other people wouldn't do that. But it's also... If you're truly somebody who's a giving person, right, and you want to be supportive of other people, like, there is that... potential to walk a path of, like, making sacrifices of yourself. Yeah. Right? For the betterment of others. But at the same time, I had to learn how to become my own best protector instead of allowing other people to inflict pain on me. Yeah. Because I'm sure the situations that I was in high school, in college, things that people had done to me, I never in a million years could have imagined doing to somebody else, let alone somebody who I called a friend. Yeah. So, like, I was so shocked and so blown away by them. And it's, like, you have to realize you need to... Because I would defend myself in a poor way. Yeah. Like, build up defenses in a poor way and be, like, really defensive or get attacky or get, like, really... That's how, like, you didn't want to make me mad, remember? You still don't want to make me mad. No. But, like, you don't want to make me mad. Yeah. Because I was very short-fused.
That's how I am, too. I'm very rarely mad. Right. But when I am, it's not a pretty sight.
Right. Yeah. So it's, like, when you have to go into friendships really, and that's what makes it so hard about being and growing up and really having to, like, develop this understanding of what friendships should be. Yeah. Because... you don't have the ability really to protect yourself and have the awareness of yourself so well that you can do it in a good way all the time.
It's kind of like when you're going... It's literally... When you're going to a friendship and, like, you are past that, like, I don't know. It's like any other relationship, really. Like, you have to work on it. Like, you have to... If you want to be friends with someone, I've learned, you kind of have to... It's... Number one, boundary setting, right? Like,
boundaries first, and I feel like that was the last thing I learned.
That was the last thing that
that's the last thing we learned about.
Yeah, literally the last thing.
So like, meh.
If you asked me what a freaking boundary was 2 years ago, I'd be like, I don't even know what that word means. Yeah. Literally.
And we're pushing the lines on that by doing this podcast, but
we're doing it anyway.
We're doing it because we feel like it's serving a purpose for people, right?
This is this podcast is fulfilling, and, like, yeah, sure, it, like,
it's
terrifying, and also, like, there are, like, no boundaries, but also, as long as it's fulfilling and isn't hurting, like, one of us in the process, I feel like you can still continue to do this.
And friendship, if someone does come at Maria,
oh my god,
I take it. Well, that's what's nice about, doing it together.
Yeah, it'd be weird if we were doing this.
Yeah.
Like, just one-on-one.
Way scarier, too.
But, going back to, like, friendships or whatever and boundaries, it's like any other relationship where it's like, if you want to grow together and, like, you see yourself being with that person long term, like, platonically, whatever, you kind of have to communicate and be like, look, this is the direction I want to go. Are we still good? Like, you have it, like, it's just, like...
And you can go in different directions and still be good.
Yeah, it's, like, literally the same thing. If you're good friends and you still want, you know, that trust and that, like, comfort from each other, and you're going in different directions, I mean, that's still good. Like, as long as you guys are comfortable with the direction that you choose, because it's, again, like, your life, their life, whatever.
And it all, at the end of the day, circles back to, do you... And this is a hard thing to ask yourself when you're in high school, because you're so it's not your fault. Your brain is so self-centered. And as you get older, your brain is always self-centered. That's the way our brains work. But, like, you really genuinely have to get to this, like, level of maturity where you can look at somebody else and say, I truly want you to be happy, and whatever that means. And you have to be able to support that regardless of what the situation is. So if someone makes a mistake and they're hurting, you want them to be happy. You don't want to make them feel bad about the mistake they've made. You just want to be there to support them so that they feel better, and then help them through whatever they're going through. Right. You never want to let them down in the moment. Right. Even if you think they're wrong. Right. Like that, if a friend does that to you, they're not a friend. And I've been through, and I'm sure you can speak to this too, a lot of moments where you're like, this seems like a terrible idea. Yeah. Go on. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this, but, like, you do whatever you're going to do, and I got your back. So it's like, if they're going to cross into the doorway, regardless of what's on the other side of the doorway, you're going to stand guard at that door. And that's what a friend should do, and not... Like, because I've done that to my friends. Right. I've been like, I know this is bad, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway. And they're going to be like, yeah, you're stubborn, go ahead and do it. And then they'll be waiting once I make the decision, and then they'll be like, well, alright, let's go get some ice cream or something. And there are some times where you really have to figure out for yourself who are the friends that you know will do that for you when the time comes. Again, different purposes. And let's go back to college. Yeah. Alcohol. Can't relate. Go ahead. You need to make safe choices first and foremost, and you need to be your own best judgment of those choices. And I'm gonna use this more as, like, not as a dark thing, but as, like, a funny thing. So, like, two of my bestest friends, if they listen to this, I won't say their names. Yeah. There were moments where, like, you know your friend's about to make a bad choice, so, like, you're gonna do something about it because they're not capable of handling it for themselves. And like, to the point of where I remember going out for something that I think it might have been, like, my birthday or something, whatever, I don't know. But there have been instances where it's been my birthday and I was the person. Your birthday, like, whatever. And it's so funny because I don't drink anymore and I get all, like, it's just so funny. Yeah. I had a glass of wine the other night in, like, celebration of finishing a show, and I literally was alcoholed, like, after 3 sips. Yeah, and we're getting older. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. But this is my night. I've got one by the belt loop at the back of the jeans. Okay. Okay. Right? Yeah. And the other by the back of the shirt. Yeah, and I'm just pulling them down the street. Oh, God. Like, that's the type of person you want to be friends with who will do that for you. Like, you know? Because that's a situation where it's like, I won't, like, safety first, happiness first situation. Yeah, don't make it, like, that's a different stupid decision. Like, you shouldn't, like, that's a time where, like, no, you're not making this decision. But being able to make the choice, like, where you can say, it's not about you. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that takes a level of maturity. You have to be at a certain point. That is when, only when you're able to say that, are you able to be a good friend. Say what exactly? Just in case people got confused for a second. It's not always about me. Yeah. No, because when you're younger, it's always about you. It's always about you. Yeah, just the way it is. And for me, that was a very recent discovery, even though we're, like, past college or whatever, but even so, like, it's better late than never. Yeah. To figure that out, because I've always been, like, the mom of the group. Like, always, and that comes with, like, my personal life and just, like, are you just making a mess? I'm picking up on my problems, don't worry! But, like, that came with, like, my personal life and how I was raised and everything, that I was just always the parent of the group. Yeah. And you were always like that with your sisters, so. Right, and that usually ended up me being the parent. Literally a parent. You're used to taking on the responsibility. As opposed to being a friend. Yeah.
and like smothering people. But now I'm like, no, like, let me just take a step back and do what I gotta do first, and they can figure out if they need help, then they let me know, etc., etc. So
yeah, you learn so much. I feel like I've learned more about what it looks like to the things that I don't want to do as a friend, the things that I don't want to do as a person to other people in my time when I look back at like our youth.
Yeah.
Like looking back at my own life, I go, this is what you're not gonna do anymore, versus like this is what you need to do. I had to learn. I had to learn about the things that I should be doing.
Yeah.
And start to like reprogram the things from what I was doing.
Yeah, you're
a lot of things.
Reprogramming your brain.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yep.
From the youth.
Because friendship is hard.
Friendship is just so much work.
You're gonna make a lot of friends. You're gonna lose a lot of friends up until you're like,
you die.
Yeah. Regardless of your age.
Regardless.
You know what I would love to do? I would love to have a conversation with somebody who lives in like a senior home. And have like a friendship conversation with them.
I think that'd be a lot of tears.
Why?
No, it's like.
Oh, you're thinking of the history of friendships. I'm thinking like what's it like to be someone who's later in life and like you go into this new environment where you don't know anybody and you have to make friends.
That's true too. Are there still clicks?
Oh my god, you know what I just realized?
What?
I forgot the freaking book!
Oh my god. Yeah, you did have a book. What book were you trying to tell me about?
The Magic of Thinking Big. Have you ever read that book?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's like got a lot of things about like success and business and how to grow yourself and like how to think bigger and dream bigger and support that.
The Magic of what?
The Magic of Thinking Big. And in the book, there's a whole chapter. I'm so mad at myself because I was just rereading the chapter the other day and I was like, this is so perfect. There's a chapter that talks about like it's called classing up your environment.
Classing up, okay.
And it talks about how you, more like along the lines of like you are a product of your environment, and like if you're around people who aren't growing or aren't willing to push themselves and learn, then that's where you're gonna stay. And
yeah, that's also friendship too. Like if you surround yourself with people that don't want to, if you surround yourself with people that are complacent and like aren't growing, you're gonna stay complacent.
You're gonna die before you're 65
and not even
just live for 40 more years.
And not even that, it's a struggle to have friends that you really still want to be friends with, and they don't want to move while you're the one moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, you have to now then make the tough decision of like, I have to cut you off, essentially, because the relationship that we have now isn't working anymore. And like,
I'm not that's like talking about your weirdo level, right?
I'm not
the same weirdo that I was.
Like, I'm not the same person that you met X amount of years ago anymore. Yeah. And like that's tough.
And if we don't vibe, then we can't do this anymore.
Right. It's like either you have to make a decision to like, and it's not even like you have to make a decision so that we can still be friends. It's like you have to make a decision to better yourself. Is like what
and you're not going to be bettering yourself the same way I'm bettering myself. Like that process is going to look different for both of us, but we both have to move forward and grow together,
or else it's like not going to work.
All right.
And like that's also like the majority of why my friendships have ended. Which is pretty normal, I think. Yeah. It's just like putting it to words is a different thing, but like that's usually what happens when friends like friendships die out.
It's never like a case of like I'm better than this person.
No,
or
it's just
it's never that. It's just like you said before. It's like my path is different, but like I'm also making the choice to keep walking.
Right. I'm not gonna sit here and wait for
versus saying that everything's good and everything's done and I'm done walking and this is where I'm gonna sit for the rest of my life.
Right. Exactly.
Like analogies. I love analogies and imagery. But yeah. So we talked about how we define friendship a lot more than I was expecting.
A lot, yeah. It's a little, yeah. Our friendship a little bit.
How do you make new friends at the age we're at right now?
How do I make new friends?
Just like like a general like how do you make new friends? How do you go about making friends when you're
honestly older? Like after college, it's more like work because I work like in a standard 9 to 5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like my coworkers, and then my coworkers will their significant others, and then like
circles and circles,
like whatever, and then it's really just convenience again. For me, at least. It's just like my coworkers and also friends of friends, and like I don't know. I'm also a homebody, so it's like not that. I keep I have like my core friends, and then like that's pretty much it right now. So I haven't really met new people lately.
I hear you.
So It might change. It always changes. It's always
You're gonna go through stagnations, and then you're gonna go through. I can tell you that the time when I started to deal with a lot of things and like started to deal with my anxiety and really deal with like depression and stuff was when I realized I wasn't having positive connections with the people that I was connected to already. Yeah. Or I was disassociating myself with them unintentionally. And then also wasn't having new positive experiences. Yeah. That's what kills you as a person.
Because you just feel stuck.
Yep. Yep. And then you get like, you start to like ruminate on old things and you start to question everything.
You start to question like everything. Yeah. Like every single friendship, every single like.
The biggest thing though was like, the biggest thing was like the new friends, the new people, the new information.
It's shiny is what it is. It's like a new, like when you get new friends.
It's just, you get a new perspective.
Oh, that too. No, yeah, absolutely.
You get a new perspective. Yeah. And you find like.
It's also like no judgment.
So like for me to, right. And it's like, I get to come in as whoever I am right now versus like these people know all of my history, which isn't a bad thing.
Which is like, a bad thing, yeah.
Like you get to come in as who you are now and you're developing a friendship from like where you are.
As a genuine person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like finding the best way that you can find friends. Okay, how do you find friends right now?
Online.
Know what you like and what you're interested in. And you can totally utilize it online. It's an amazing resource if we use it well. Yeah. Know what you like, know what your interests are, know who you are. So, going back to 20-something's book.
Oh, defining decade.
Defining
decade.
Like this
I've told so many people to read that.
Read it. I didn't even finish it yet, and I'm still like, this is the time to find out exactly who you are. Yeah. Not by the definition of who your friends, what your friends say, your family say, or other people say to you, or what the environments that you're in say who you are. Mm-hmm. Really define who you are. Yeah. Once you find out who you are, at whatever age you are, because it might not be in your 20s, it might be later, it might be earlier.
You know, again, also just one thing that I've been, what am I saying? One thing that I learned that a good friend of mine said, I love, there's no like timeline. Nope. There's literally like by 25 you should do this.
And the expectations of that just make us all more depressed and anxious.
Right. So there's literally you could be fucking 40 and doing this now. Like who cares?
Yeah. If you do it a life well lived is a life where at any point you actually discover who you are. Whether you're doing it when you're 80, or you're 12, where you're I can't imagine that.
Wow, okay.
Goddamn, like the social things aren't hard enough at that point. At any point in your life, if you're able to successfully really figure that out for yourself,
then you're good.
And it's different, like you said, it's different for everybody. It doesn't matter, but we're
so I feel like we're so programmed to be like, and this could just be like the generations above us. Graduate high school, graduate college, get married, like buy X whatever, but like not really.
Yeah.
Like,
not
anymore.
Literally not at all.
Yeah.
And it's because, it's changed because life, our life length has grown. Yeah. Right?
Significantly.
And I feel like, so that we don't feel like we're wading in water and like, what do we do with all this time we have? We set up these little keystones that say what you should be doing when, so it's like a little check to mark off. Yeah. Because it gives people some kind of solace in knowing that there's a plan. Right. But then, when our generation came into it, we were like, F this, we have all this time to live. We started to go the opposite, and we didn't want to take on responsibility. We didn't want to figure out the hard stuff. Yeah. And then it became a big issue. Was like a lot of people aren't meeting this plan, and it's fine if you don't neither one of us meet that plan, or whatever that plan should be in different ways. Yeah. But it's fine if you don't meet the plan. What matters is, are you going through your life in a healthy way? Like that's good for you mentally, physically. Good for you. Yeah. And then when you have your time to figure it out, whenever that is, and define yourself, that's when you start to really live your life. Like that's when you can say, I have the awareness, I know what I need in friends, I know what my interests are. Yeah. That's when you start to get friends. When you actually share, when you know what you're interested in, you know what you care about, you have a common interest with somebody, and then you start to realize, look at all the other ways that we're connected. Yeah. That's where friendships come.
Absolutely. I can agree with that. Jesus. Yeah,
friendships, man.
It's a heavy topic. It's heavier in my opinion than romantic relationships.
Yeah, because I could honestly breeze through that.
Like I said, like earlier, like I feel like the foundation of like a platonic like friendship, relationship, whatever, is just straight up 100% trust and no facade and not trying to impress another person. And that has so many. And
even in relationships, you're trying to do that. Like I'm just being totally honest.
Just like
especially at
in
that age. You're trying to do that.
Yeah. So like it stings like more when a friend decides to not be your friend anymore, for sure. When
it stings when you realize that you've lost a friendship. Like actively, you've lost a friendship.
Yeah.
It's a punch in the gut and the face and all the other soft tissue parts of your body when someone actively does something to end your friendship.
Right, especially, it sucks when, like, you're blindsided by it.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah. Like, and I've done that. I did that once that I can, like, actively think of, and it still hurts me to know that I've done that to somebody.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. And I did it when I was older, because I think it had happened to me. A lot. Yeah. And,
did you want to do it? Like,
probably subconsciously, I probably wanted to do it to somebody to be like,
I did it.
Ha. Which is not okay,
It's
guys.
not
like,
okay.
I'm not, like, commending it.
No, it's not okay.
And I still think about, and it's somebody not that I was, like, crazy close with,
but
like,
it's still a friend.
Being somebody who wants the best for people, when you look at yourself and you're like,
wow, I did that.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
I will one day eventually, like, and it's not like that I'm too big to apologize. It's just like, I don't want to bring that up for somebody if they've already passed through it, you know?
It's, because you're still thinking about the other person, like, and their well-being is what you just said.
Thanks, Maria. Thank you. Yep, yes I am. Because they're over it, and I'm the one not over it because I'm the one who made the poor choice, right? So, like, why should I burden somebody else with, like, the fact, and I don't need them to tell me that it's okay, like, because I'm apologizing. I don't need that validation. It's just that I want them to know that I love them and I want the best for them, but it's not about me. It's about them. If they're happy in their life, then I shouldn't have to. Now, mind you, I've had people who have done not good things to me to end friendships many, many years later reach out to me.
And be like, I'm sorry? Or like what?
Or like be like, I don't know why I ever did that to you. Like, you were one of the only people I felt like I could talk to.
Like years later. Like,
and
you're talking about
and like
people who went to school with.
Would say to me, like, I'm going through this, and I feel like no one would understand me, and you're the person who I feel like I could talk to about it.
See, that's also very toxic. And they're not thinking is what happened. They're not thinking about your well-being at this moment in time. They're still only thinking about themselves.
And it's happened quite a few times, and I very openly am just like, I just want to love them.
Like, when they come back and, like, do this to you?
No,
like,
not...
What are you talking about?
Not in, like, a, I need you to like me, I'm so happy.
No,
be friends. But... In, like, you're going through something, and I just want to love you because you need the love, and it doesn't matter. Like,
And you're doing this for them. Again. Just turn it to the therapy session?
Yep.
And it's not, but like, that's you as a person at the core of it. That's always been you, though.
Yeah. Okay. I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
God.
But like, I don't know. Like, if someone does you wrong and someone turns around and comes to you and is in need of something.
I mean, I would do the same thing.
Right.
Let's be real here. Like, I'm not saying that you're.
And I didn't do it. And I was able to put myself in a situation where I didn't like let myself get hurt again. Right.
Right.
Like,
no, you're doing it in a healthy situation.
But like doing it in a way of saying like, I appreciate that you've done that. Like, I still want the best for you. Like,
like, good luck with your life. I'll help you out
now,
right now.
Mind you, that was somebody that I was, like, really good friends with. So, you know those people always have, like, a soft place in your heart. But, like,
again. Like,
if it was somebody who, like...
Okay, it was someone that was an asshole to you.
Me, like, that would take, like, a whole nother level of being a bigger person. Because I would have to, like... I'd probably have to... I don't know what I would do.
Oh, no, that's just out of line. But, no, if it's someone that you were close with and like, cut the friendship off or whatever, and came back and was like, hey... SOS, I would probably do the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, your friends when you were younger were still your friends. Yeah. And if they came back and were like, hey, like, how are you? I wouldn't, like,
But those are the moments that define you as a person, right?
Yeah, how you react to that, yeah.
When someone does you wrong, and and this is what I had to change the most about myself.
Yeah.
Instead of being the reactive, explosive, emotionally unstable person that I was.
Yeah.
And just because that was what I learned.
That's just how you, that's just literally how we were
and that was how I could defend myself best.
Yeah.
Being able to really say, like, this sucks. How are you going to, like, how do you, one, not put yourself in those make better choices and not put yourself in a situation where you're that vulnerable to getting hurt like that. One. Mm-hmm. Two, how do you take a moment to say, okay, I can't be reactive to this. I have to respond appropriately to this so that I come out as a better I'm not compromising myself as a person, and I'm not fueling the fire that is has whatever brought this person to make a bad choice to come at me.
Yeah.
Guys, awareness is you cannot be a good friend if you're not aware of yourself and super, super aware. Like, I talk about this in so many aspects, the importance of awareness.
Yeah, because, like, I'm not, and this isn't, like, me to my own horn, but, like,
do it.
I haven't, in my perception of myself, I've never been, like, a friend that would hurt another friend intentionally. Like, right. You know, like, I'm not out here trying to, I don't know, like, one-up a friend or, like, do all that stupid shit.
Yeah.
At least for me. And, like, even so, like, I still had to learn how to be self-aware. Because then the actions that I do upon myself, sometimes, or majority of the time, hurt the friends that I have. And sometimes I'm not aware of that. And that alone took a long time for me to realize. And how to healthily deal with that. And like, there's always, basically what I'm saying is, like, there's always something to, like, learn every so often about, like, being a better friend. Even if you think that you're, like, a very good friend, there's always something that you're missing, I feel like. Within every stage of your life, you're probably going to learn something new about yourself, is what it is.
Yeah.
And that'll only, hopefully, make you a better person and a better friend.
And, like, that's
like, life.
Right. That I've recently come to realize for myself that my goal... Yeah. As I travel through life, like, my overarching big goal is that I want to be the best person I can be.
I hope that's, like, everyone's goal. Like, overarching, like, goal in life. Like, is that, like, that's like life, I hope.
Right.
For a majority of people, is to, like, be a better person.
Like, however, like, dance and, like, movement sciences and, like, other things can fit into that arch.
Yeah.
Is solid. Like, that's... Like, the fun of, like, figuring out life. Yeah. But, like, I have to work on myself.
Constantly.
Yeah, all the time to make sure that I have the awareness to say and, like put a mirror up to myself and have other people around me who are willing to do that in a good way, too. To say, like, are you actually making a best choice to be this type of person? Yeah. Like, because I want to, like you were saying, like having the ability to leave behind a legacy... Like, I want to leave behind a legacy that has shown that I have somehow had a positive impact on other people's lives. And I'm not saying, like, it has to be, like, I want some kind of status thing.
It could be something small.
But I heard the craziest concept. We're, like, going super off of friendships, but it's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
But, I mean, it still fits within the bubble. That, like, it was in the, like, the... context of, like, the way that a father treats their child would be, it affects, like, the next 100 generations, and, like, it can affect up to hundreds of different people.
Right.
Because the way that whatever you sow into that person is who they become, and then that affects a lot of other people.
Yeah, the next generation.
And the next generation, like, other people around.
Yeah.
So, like, in my mind, if I, like, and you know this, like, if you haven't interacted with a stranger...
Yeah.
And it's a negative interaction. They're carrying that to somebody else, and then, like, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do it positively, then it's also the same thing. So it's like, you might not be leaving behind, like a tangible legacy. Like, I might not have a building named after me, and that's fine. Yeah. But, like, if I, in some way, shape, or form, sent off, the ability for even the tiniest little ripple of like positivity to affect other people's lives,
then that's
or
also
like
legacy
believing in yourself, or like something, like standing up for yourself, knowing how to have awareness, being a good friend, like even if this episode can do something like that, like that fits in that arch, and that's
absolutely
a win.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Jesus,
this episode was a lot.
We
were off camera literally saying who was going to cry first, so I'm really happy that one of us is not crying.
No, but we were both very, very close. I think you were closer than me, but still.
Oh, yeah, no, I was...
I think offline after we're going to have a long talk.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But yeah, look for whatever age you are, who are your friends? You are the equivalent of the 5 closest people to you. So
I can agree to that. And also, you should, we didn't touch upon this, but I just thought about it. You should also be your own best friend. Yeah.
Know how to take care of yourself
Which
first,
is
because no one else will. At the end of the day...
It's so hard, though, to say that and also to practice it. It's 2 different things, but it's something that I'm learning right now, and once I hopefully learn how to do that, it should be very fulfilling for me.
And know your trigger points.
That too. Just know your boundaries, honestly.
Know your boundaries and know what triggers you. So, like, for me, I had to start catching myself and realizing that, like, when I am unhappy or I don't feel good, instead of, like, talking to other people about it, I like to find ways to ignore it. And, like, TV was a really good way to ignore things, which we all know, like, that escapism. Yeah. And then I would find myself feeling just... absolutely awful, and I had to say to myself, like, you are not allowed to do this.
Go find a friend.
Yeah. Or, like, go the frick outside. I don't know about you, but, like...
Sun is great.
I started taking half an hour, like, 30-minute walk.
I see her.
Yeah. Guys, I am a senior citizen. It's fine.
It's fine.
And I live a life... Walks. I make choices to live a life and to be able to do that for myself, right?
So, which is healthy. It's a healthy alternative to binge watching Netflix.
Right. And it's a healthy alternative to me being in a situation. I am not somebody who, like, I commend you so much for doing what you do in your job. I would never survive working a full-time job. I just wouldn't. I would absolutely lose my mind. I just can't. I couldn't be confined in a space like that for that. Woo! Oh my goodness.
Look, different paths of life.
Yeah, so I knew what I had to do for myself, and then I started to realize when you're doing that, watching TV, Brittany, you're doing the same thing to yourself. Except you're calling it something different.
You're calling it,
So I had to get outside. And I had to
distraction.
Right. I had to get outside and do something for myself. And you have to be the person to first enact those things to take care of yourself. Like Maria said, you have to be your own best friend.
Yeah, because, like...
And call yourself on your shit.
Yeah, you have to call yourself on your shit, absolutely. Because, because, again, your friends have their own lives.
Yep. They're not responsible for you. No. Neither are your family members.
Correct. Absolutely. So if like who else is gonna be there besides like yourself at the end of the day? It's like the lesson that I'm trying to learn. That's just such a fucking therapy.
And if you bring this is something I had to realize too. Yeah. What are you doing are you really leaving that positive impact or bringing your best self to a friendship or to a relationship if you're not willing to take that responsibility for yourself first? Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
So this is our talk on friendship.
That has spanned 2 episodes at this point.
Which is fine. Like, it's fine. No, it's a big topic. It's an important topic.
And I'm sure we'll dive back into this in a future episode. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So how do you, here's your steps to having a kick-ass friendship, right? If you really want a friendship. And we're saying this being people who, like, are just really figuring this out now. Know who you are. Yep. Try to offer your genuine self, even when it's scary, because there will be people who will reject you.
Absolutely. Who love you. Yeah. But you're never gonna know until you do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Know what you like. Yeah. Find other people who like that stuff.
That's the easiest part, I feel like. Well, easy if you know what you like. Yeah.
Be willing to trust in others. Yeah. Even if they don't always trust in you. And, like, be willing to put yourself out there. Be patient, and take that risk. Yeah.
You have to be patient, because
we're telling you so many things to do, and it's probably super overwhelming, because I'd be like, oh my god.
I'd be like, I gotta write notes. I don't know. But I feel like you have to be patient, because, again, other people don't function like you, so they may be slower, or, like, you know, they move faster, or, like, have a different pace in life than you, so it's like...
Smile at somebody and say hi.
It's so corny.
You want to make a friend? Smile
so
at
corny,
somebody
but it's so true.
and say hello.
Yeah.
I was in
oh my
god, this was such a sweet moment. I was in the farmer's market last week.
Yeah.
And it was mad.
Truly a senior citizen.
Oh yeah, guys. Yeah. And there was a line. It was crazy in the market, and I felt somebody like tap on my shoulder, and I turned around. It was this really sweet old man.
Senior citizen.
And okay, all right, really sweet old man, and he was like, "Can you do me a favor?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure,
absolutely."
And he asked me to tie a knot in like the bag that he had his oranges in, because he like his fingers.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I tied the knot for him, and like it was just like was like, yeah, no problem, of course, here you go. And like I realized he only had a couple of things in his hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, if that's all you have, like, just why don't you go in front of me?
Yeah. Why not?
You know,
it's
just
simple.
like I, you know, I wasn't in a crazy hurry. Like he was like it just. And then he said the sweetest thing, and like it all started because like he tapped my shoulder, and I turned around and was like,
"Hey,
hi."
Yeah, it's supposed to being a bitch and like, what the fuck is the old guy?
Right.
Like, yeah.
And he literally, as he was like walking around me, was like, he was like, you know something? And I was like, what? He's like, I should write you in my will. And I just started laughing. And I was like, you were very sweet. Thank you. That's okay. Like that's totally fine. And it's just like. You can make a friend that easily. And remember how easy, like, going back to, like, kindergarten, like, remember how easy it was?
And then your friends.
I like your purple notebook. Want to be friends?
Yeah.
Like
something, simple
and
like
you
that.
can do that as an adult, too. Like,
I don't know why people don't do that anymore.
And I love some of the facial responses that I get when I smile at people.
Yeah, because people are like, holy shit, there's a nice person out there.
They're like, why are you smiling at me? Why are you talking to me? Like, it's funny. Like, I think it's funny. Like, whatever. People are going to reject you all the time, and they're really in their worlds, and maybe they're not having a good day. It's fine. But, like, you can walk up to a grown adult and be like, hey, I really like your shoes.
Yeah.
Friends.
Absolutely.
Instantly.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have so much, I feel like a lot of people will feel like they don't have the friends that they want, because they want those friends for the wrong reasons, or
me in middle school, yeah.
They're really afraid of being rejected by other people, and the reality is that we all want to have those friends, we all want to have those connections and have that community. So it's just like, if we allow ourselves to pull down that facade of thinking that we should be something and just be ourselves, we'll find those people, and that has been the best lesson that I've learned about friendships.
And once you have those people, literally, like, my life has changed for the better. Yeah. It's insane what the power of like friendship and like having best friends will do to you in like very rough times, and even during the very good times. Yeah. It's fulfilling when you have those friends during the rough times, but it's even much more fulfilling when like you and your other friends and your best friend are also fulfilled at the same time. Yeah. You know? So
definitely. So, reach out to us. Tell us your. Do we have an email?
We do. I should probably put it in the description.
We don't have social media accounts because Brittany already manages too many of those and can't handle.
So just email us.
So you can reach out to either of us on our personal,
or our email,
social media.
Yeah, or our email.
But do people like to like?
Or like comment, just comment on YouTube.
Oh yeah, duh. Do people like to casually send emails anymore? I feel like I only send professional emails now.
I don't know.
So, whatever. So, I don't know what our email is. Be More Podcast?
BeMorePodcasting@gmail.com. Ooh. Because Be More Podcast was taken.
Okay. Well, I was going to get into all the ways that could be.
You know what? Who cares?
Email us. Tell us about your friendships. Tell us about your hardships. Tell us about...
whatever else.
You want to be friends? Hey, you want to be friends? Like, reach out to us. Tell us what you want us to talk about. If you have any preferences. If you actually, give a hot damn about what we think.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
And we'll catch you guys on the next episodes, and we'll, make you laugh more.
Absolutely.
Maria always finds the best cuts to make everybody laugh at me, so you're going to laugh regardless, and that's fine. That makes me happy.
Cool. All right. Okay, bye.
Thanks, dude.
You're welcome.